Because a lot of times, especially if we're trying to do some dynamic kicks, you'll hear, and then I'm gonna fall into something. Bam. So today we're going to master countering the jab.
So what we're gonna do is, for now, again, keep things simple. We're gonna get in our fight stance right. When we throw the jab, it's gonna go from point A to point B, right? After we throw the jab, a big thing that I see people not do is keep this to guard the chin, right? So for now, we'll do a small step, okay? So we're gonna jab, and we're gonna go here, small step, and we're gonna go straight forward. I don't wanna see people jabbing to the right, or down low, or up top. You should be aiming at the neck, right? Anytime you have an opponent, we wanna kind of make a little triangle, and we're aiming here. The reason we aim here is because if this person tries to get down, I'm hitting them right in the nose, right? If they try to go up, which a lot of people like that New York style, right? They do a lot of this. If they do that, I'm hitting the chest. And so now we're disrupting the body. Now they can't come back and counter us, okay? Now when we're gonna go on the counter side, on slipping the jab, it's basically like throwing your jab. So when I throw my jab, I'm coming here, my body's turning here, right? If I step, I'm coming here, and I'm aiming right here. So now if I'm going to counter the jab, I'm basically doing the same thing, but I'm switching it, right? In boxing, you slip very little. So when Michelle throws, I'm basically coming here. It's the same thing, only now I'm not throwing my jab, right? In time, if I was you guys, I would learn to be able to throw with the person, which is some stuff that we're gonna go over with Michelle. So now, when the person throws the jab, we're coming here, and now you're actually throwing your jab, right? If we're countering inside, well, you want to go with the kick. We're gonna go over different ranges, right? So we call them A, B, and C range. A range is being long, B range is kind of in the middle, and then C range, we're in very tight.
So I'm just gonna see this range. I'm too far away to throw any punches, okay? So the first range right now, we're in which range? A range, okay? So with A range, it's something I really like to do a lot. I will bait their jab, because a lot of times when people throw their jab and they're trying to connect, what happens to this backhand? They pull it back. And it's just habit. We all do it because we're trying to touch our opponent. We go, and this hand comes back, and they're like, well, you can't touch me because I'm jabbing you. So keep your hand up, protect your face. So what we're doing is that. What is that? Like 2 inches off, okay? So 2 inches off, we're moving our body, just like you would if you're throwing a jab, right? So we're moving our body. This back foot is going to pivot, okay? So you see how my heel is turning towards my opponent, okay? And what that's going to do is open my hips up and allow me to get my leg up to his face, okay? As my leg comes up to his face, I'm going to hinge my body. So it's like this. And what that does is it gets my head offline, okay? So I'm gonna come here, and so now my head is offline, so he can't hit me, and my foot's coming up. And that's gonna allow me to get my foot up where it needs to be. This move is still very effective to the midsection, to the leg. If they're guarded high, which some people are, depending on their style, if they're guarded high, well, that's like a perfect shot for you, okay? So if you can't get your head up, I just think it's like a super sweet move. You're going to take a little step, make sure you're on the ball of your foot, and you're going to get your foot up here, and your teammate is going to have their hands up, so you're just going to touch their hand, okay? So we're here, back, down. At the very end of my kick, my heel is pointing towards my opponent, okay? And when you do it slow, it's going to allow you to understand your balance, so that when your kick is finished, you can come back into a nice grounded stance. Because a lot of times, especially if we're trying to do some dynamic kicks, you'll hear, and then I'm gonna fall into something, bam, you know? So practice it the right way, and practice it slow. And if you can do it slow, then you can do it fast. You have to intercept their jab while they're jabbing. Because if you wait until they jab, to do it, then they're just going to jab you again. You have to do it while you're jabbing. That's the secret sauce with this move, is to do it while you're jabbing. A lot of times, the first move doesn't work, but guess what it does do? It throws them off balance. It sets you up for something else. So what I want you to do is I want you to throw this head kick, and I want you to figure out something to do after that, okay? because it's the first time, not the first punch or kick that is going to hit your opponent. You know, so you have to figure out where your body is after you're done with this kick. Because it is quite awkward, right? If you don't get the knockout, you're like, dang, like, well, now what? Okay? Up, elbow, jab up, you know, shot, elbows. Use your creative mind, use your imaginative mind. Let's see some, come on girls. Hey. So, you're gonna throw jab first, and then you're gonna throw the kick, and then throw your combo. Go. Boom. Nice. Okay. Alright, Jazzy, you throw your jab and you throw your kick. Go. Like that one. That's good. Alright, go. Nice. Good. No change with the body. Good job, guys. That's good. Okay. Who's throwing jab first? Alright, mom's throwing first. Whoa! Alright. Okay. Hey, I just want to show you guys a little bit of variation of your different styles. So it's nice to kind of sometimes, even if you're injured or if you don't feel like training or if you have to have a day to recover, it's okay to come into class and watch your teammates spar because you can always learn something by watching. Okay, so now we're gonna do B range and Josh will take over this segment because he's the boxer.
Yeah, well, so on the B range, guys, I mean, a lot of you guys are already doing it, right? Or you have the reactions to do it. My man over here had it. So it's basically the same thing. Now what we're gonna do for this, there's many different scenarios you can do, right? A lot of people, when they slip, they come back, you can pull. There's many things we can do. So anytime someone says, well, what if this, what if that? Remember, it's the fight game. You can do a ton of things, right? But for this drill, all we're gonna do is we're gonna step with this one almost at a 45. So when Michelle jabs, I'm coming here. If you want to, we can jab at the same time to disrupt the body. And then now I'm gonna go overhead, okay? But I'm actually going to, if we can drill it, it's actually here, and then I'm coming right over with my cross. So it would be slow here, and then I'm coming right over so that I can now attack if I want to, okay?
So with this movement, I would say that the footwork is key.
Very important.
Okay.
So when we throw the jab, the back foot is already moving, okay? So I'm coming here and setting up. All my power should be on this leg so that I can now throw my cross. Right, so I'm here, and I'm coming here so that now I can do whatever else I want to do, right? So we're gonna go here to here and then forward.
So let's all stand up. Okay, so it's jab for jab. Again, we are not blocking the jab and then attacking. We are attacking with the jab. We are intercepting the jab. Okay, our defense is our offense.
Pretty much, we're just kind of skipping back here. Yeah, so it's just a skip.
So let's do that a couple times. So here.
Perfect.
Good. Front back.
Now remember, the biggest key, guys, don't go too much here where now we're square. So it's just we're here and now it's just a little bit, just very minor.
So just a little bit is a shuffle, right? Bop, 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 bop.
And at the same time, guys, you could be slipping punches, right? So if Michelle throws her jab, I'm slipping here. Now she throws the cross, I'm slipping here, right? So it's just, I mean, you're basically just slipping, we're just not throwing. If we're doing it at first, then we want you guys to throw while they're trying to do their thing, right? So if we're slipping here, I'm throwing here. If she throws her cross, I'm throwing here. But that right, she's going wide. But that's how the fight happens, right? We're going inches.
Inches. Okay, so it's like this. Okay, we're gonna go on 3 counts. So it's 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now.
So when the jab goes out, the right back foot goes to a 45, right? So we're basically coming here. So I want to see, I'm coming here. My jab goes out, my back foot goes back, right?
And Josh, I have a question because some people aren't as long and they have problems giving an angle on that back foot flat. So I told you sometimes I have that same problem. So I take a step to the side so that I can...
Yeah, so she doesn't go further back.
I don't go back, I like to step to the side, and that's what gets me the angle. Okay? That same thing. Roll. Roll. Roll.
And then from there, it's up to you on, we switch it up, right guys? From after this, instead of throwing the right hand over, now we put them across. Right? Now I'm going to stay in the pocket. So if she comes here, I already do this, I can come this way, kind of Mike Tyson it, and do your thing there, right?
Okay, so...
And for right now, guys, well, I mean, you guys have gloves, so just try to hit here, right? So we disrupt the body, yeah, hit the chest.
Not like hit it, just like place it.
Yeah, very, very nice placement.
So I'm jabbing and Josh is flipping and jabbing. And do your partner a favor and aim for their neck. Because if you're trying to make it easy for them to do this.
Yeah. And then in the fight, it's easy, right? It happens so fast that when I am trying to throw, that's why you see when they slow it down, they're missing at a small amount. So if I'm aiming at Michelle's nose, by the time she does her thing, it's really gone, right? That's just happens. So just like Michelle said, aim at their neck, to help them out so they movement the right way. If you guys take this home and you guys start drilling it, I was telling a few of you guys, let's say they're throwing the jab. It's okay to block it and block it, right? Get that timing like someone said, right? Do I just do it right away? No, sometimes we're gonna be surprised by how fast someone is.
If I call for something in the fight, that doesn't mean do it right away. That means I see that, and when you see the opening, you do it. You go for it.
Now pay attention for it. Now you go for it when you see it, right? But it can't just be, you know, a lot of people are 1-2 and the person's trying to go 1-2. Guess what? The other person hears the same thing, right? So now they're thinking, okay, well, I'm gonna counter the 2 or whatever, right?
So here, you just capitalize on slipping the jab and taking and jabbing him. But what ends up happening a lot of times is you go, boom, I got you. And then you come right back here, right? So take advantage of this angle that you just took, okay? In fighting, you always want to try to take your opponent's back.
The weak side, you call it the weak side, right? So whatever's shoulder's in front, that's going to be the weak side. So if I'm going with Michelle and I go here, now the weak side comes in there, right? It's just very simple for me to create a big angle with a small step.
Okay, so here it is. Josh is doing his jab, I step off, okay? And this is the shuffle, okay? Little shuffle. Pop, pop, okay? So, here, step, 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 okay? Step, step, step. Step, step, step. Alright, so whatever punch you want to do after, or kick, or fit in, go for it. And it'll be 1 for 1. My sports psychologist, what he calls them are power words, and they're basically like triggers. And so we pick a certain amount of phrases to become my power words. Confidence, flow, focus, vicious, mom champ, greatness, win. Those are some of my power words, and I use them in different ways. And so what I've done is I've built this bank of power words that I can call upon when I need to. I think the katas helped me with the muscle memory. And that was really, I was a lot better at the katas in the forms than I was at fighting. And I think that's why I continued to fight, because it bothered me that I always got beat up, you know? And so I continued to fight. But I do think that after sport karate, I did Kempo, and then I did Wushu for a couple of years. And I think the Wushu really helped me with my explosive movement. It helped me with my level changes. It helped me with my dexterity and my flexibility. So definitely all those things help.